What's going on, guys? Welcome to another video. There has been some news in the UFC world that could possibly alter the next challenger for the lightweight belt against Islam Makhachev, and I want to talk about who I think that is going to be. Now, if you guys remember, at UFC 300, Arman Tsarukyan got into an altercation with a fan. I think he punched him, something like that. So he was being, I don't know if it's the right terminology, he was investigated for that incident, and he got suspended 9 months from the UFC, so he's not going to be able to participate until November 13th, that date or farther along. I don't know if it's going to be 9 months from the date of the altercation. I would assume so. So if we're going by that, April 13th, that means he's not going to be able to fight until November. Now, Islam Makhachev typically fights and headlines the pay-per-view event that happens in October in Abu Dhabi. So if we're going to, I know there's no announcements for that next fight yet, but I believe that event is October 26th. So that means that Arman is not going to be able to fight for the title if Islam is going to fight there. Typically he does. So if we're going to go based off of that information, there is going to be a different opponent. And the opponent that I think is going to be is Justin Gaethje. Everything kind of played out well for him if you think about it. He took that fight against Max Holloway for the BMF belt. It was he was on the wrong end of one of the craziest knockouts in UFC history, but he's kind of getting rewarded from the MMA gods for taking that fight for our entertainment, because how it's all playing out, it seems like he's the only one that's going to be available for that title shot. Now, let's go over, because I saw the news today, and then I went to see the lightweight rankings, and he's the only one that really makes sense from what we've heard from the UFC world in the past couple of days. So let's talk about it. We got the lightweight rankings right here. So at the top, Arman Tsarukyan, number one contendership. We already know this, but because of the suspension today that we learned, Arman Tsarukyan probably isn't going to fight for the belt in October, where Islam usually headlines the pay-per-view in Abu Dhabi. So next up, you go down to Charles Oliveira. Arman Tsarukyan just beat Charles Oliveira, and are they going to really skip Arman and give him give Islam the person that Arman already beat? I don't think so. And if you guys have been keeping up with the updates, apparently Oliveira and Gamrot are set to fight each other, but the only stipulation that they're working on is whether it's going to be 3 rounds or 5 rounds. So I think the Charles Oliveira and Gamrot match will happen, which eliminates the second place contender and the 5th place. Now the next line you go down is Justin Gaethje. So yes, he did lose to Max Holloway, but if you think about it, if Max is talking about going back down to featherweight, he didn't lose to a true lightweight. Yes, he is ranked, as you guys see, in the 9th spot here, but none of the other lightweight contenders defeated him, technically. So next below Justin Gaethje is Dustin Poirier, who just fought for a title shot and is contemplating retirement. It's not going to be Poirier. Now Gamrot, same situation like we said. I'm pretty sure he's scheduled to fight Oliveira soon. Michael Chandler, doesn't seem like Michael Chandler is going to fight anybody but Conor McGregor at this point. I think he's content on waiting for that fight. Now you go down to Beneil Dariush. I don't think you can give Dariush the fight because he got knocked out by Oliveira and then got knocked out by Arman Tsarukyan. So you can't justify giving him that shot. Fiziev, I don't know. I don't think he's even been back since his injury back in September of 2023. Are you going to give it to Max? I don't think Max wants the lightweight belt just yet. I think, like he has spoken about, the featherweight belt is the one he wants to go for. And then you're going too far down at this point. 10th, 11th, 12th. I don't think they're going to give it to Moicano, all that stuff. So who remains? Who remains? This guy right here, Justin Gaethje. So that's my thought on it. I'm pretty sure everything kind of played out, and the MMA gods are rewarding him for taking that fight at UFC 300 for our entertainment, and giving us one of the coldest moments in UFC history. Obviously, he was on the wrong end of it, but I think he's going to be rewarded by the MMA gods. I just think that's how it's going to play out. I think it's going to be Justin Gaethje versus Islam Makhachev for the lightweight belt in Abu Dhabi at the end of October. I think it's UFC 308, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, man, that actually makes me super happy, because I did have Max Holloway in that fight with Gaethje. Regardless of the KO, I think Holloway secured himself a decision win if he didn't get that last second knockout. But I I did really want to see Gaethje get one more crack at it, and we might actually get to see it. So let me know what you guys think. I think Justin Gaethje is going to take on Islam in Abu Dhabi in October because that's typically where Islam fights. He headlines those pay-per-views, and if Tsarukyan's out, Oliveira and Gamrot are going to be occupied fighting each other. I think that's perfect to give Gaethje his title shot, even though he lost and got knocked out by Max Holloway. I don't think there's going to be much of a different result from the Makhachev-Poirier fight that we just saw. But regardless, it'll be nice to see Justin Gaethje get another crack at it, and I'll be excited and watching that fight nonetheless. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you hit that like button. Drop a comment down below with your thoughts on who you think is going to take challenge Islam for the lightweight belt next. And subscribe if you're new. Thank you guys, and I will see you in the next video.